Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. So yesterday saw the release of the new core set M15, Magic 2015. So we're going to do a fat pack unboxing. This one I picked up from a local game store in Halifax called Games People Play. So it doesn't look like much has actually changed in the contents. We get 9 boosters, and according to the back we have a player's guide with visual encyclopedia, card box, 9 boosters, 80 card basic lands, a spin down life counter and 2 deck boxes. So I think first up we'll take a look at the player's guide, because it's always good to see recommendations and backstory. A bit about behind the scenes of the design, then the multiverse, Theros, Ravnica, Innistrad, Chandra, Zendikar, New Phyrexia. A bit about the colours of Magic, and then as with a lot of these encyclopedias, we get focus on major planeswalkers: Ajani, Jace, Liliana, Chandra, Nissa, and of course their relevant colour, and a sample deck. And then, which is a regular feature in these encyclopedias, the 10 coolest cards for this particular set. So in this one, and this was put together by Adam Prozac, who's a Magic developer. So they've got number 1 is Garrick Apex Predator, then it's Jace the Living Gilpack, Nissa World Waker, Ajani Steadfast, Shrapnel Blast, Sliver Hive Lord, Obelisk of Erd, Raise the Alarm, Nightfire Giant, and Paragon of Fierce Defiance. And then we just move on to the card encyclopedia. So these are reproductions of all of the cards in each of the colours for this particular set in Wooburg order. So that's white, blue, black, red, green, and then finally finishing off with the artifacts and non-basic land, and then the land artwork. And this is interesting. I can't remember whether they've done this before. So cards numbers 270 and higher don't appear in any booster packs, but they appear in some supplemental products. They're actually legal in tournament play in any format that includes Magic 2015 core set. And I sort of first noticed this, I think, when I saw some set listings in the Gatherer, but then compared them against the I printed off one of the, I think it's the sealed, is it the sealed? Yeah, the sort of limited, if you play in a limited tournament, there's a checklist you have to fill in, or you can fill in. And I noticed that several of the cards that were on the Gatherer were missing off that checklist. And that checklist is normally composed of cards that you would open in booster packs for a limited tournament. So I was curious, and this has sort of answered my question, in that it would appear that the cards that were missing on that list are these ones here. And there's more there. So as it said, these are not available in booster packs, but they will appear in supplemental products. Okay. I'm trying to think if they've ever done that before. I think there was a couple of sets where that's been done. Okay, so now we move on to the packs themselves. let's have a quick look at the artwork on these card boxes. So there's the card boxes if you're interested in the artwork on that. Then, as with all the fat packs, we get this spin down counter with the set logo in the 20 spot. There's a nice sort of, I don't know how clear that is on camera, that's a sort of red dice with blue mottling. So normally with the core sets, you'll find that the artwork is fairly standardised, in that it's, if not the same, very similar to previous artwork from core sets. So we'll just have a quick look through this. Until we've seen all the different variations. And the usual thing is there's normally like 4 variants of artwork for each colour of mana. It's normally like 3 or 4 depending on the set. I always thought it'd be nice with core sets to resurrect some of the really early artwork that's you know, sort of alpha, around the period of alpha and beta, just to see what it would look like in the modern card frames. So I won't go through all of these, just get a feel for the artwork, and as I've said, some of this may already be familiar because a lot of the time they just reprint earlier basic land artwork. There we go. So it just gives you a quick overview of the artwork. So now we move on to, I suppose, everybody's favourite thing. Let's crack some boosters. Maybe have a quick look at the different artwork on the boosters. Actually, that's interesting. I've not seen that before. Let's have a quick look at that. So we've got this, which is a rules reference card. Okay, so they've sort of compressed the rules into this single card, which I've not seen them do before. It's an interesting development. There you go. So it looks like they've removed a couple of inserts that you used to get and replace that with those. It's quite good to see them doing something different, because tend to accumulate quite a few of those and you can't really do anything with them. Once you've all got one of them, they're all the same. Okay, so let's open some boosters. Just, I don't know if I've got all the way through that, just so you can see the variants on the packaging. Right, let's get on and crack some packs. So being a core set, if they follow their normal thing, we should find that 50% of these are reprints and 50% are new cards. Also, these benefit from the slightly modified card frames that Magic has introduced. So we've got Divine Favour, Void Snare, Inferno Fist, Child of Night, Ranger's Guile, Chrono Stutter, Rummaging Goblin, Bronze Sable, Oriscus Swift Claw, I think that is. Negate is in this. And then moving on to our uncommons, Paragon of Fierce Defiance, Restock, Might Makes Right, and our rare is Phyto Titan, I think that is. Phyto Titan. So it's 4 and 2 green for a 7/2 creature plant elemental. And you also notice now with the rares, they have this sort of holographic thing on the bottom here. When Phyto Titan dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control at the beginning of his or her next upkeep. And a mountain, and just your advert. Thundering Titan. Oh, not Thundering Titan. Thundering Giant. Ephemeral Shields. Coral Barrier. Covenant of Blood. Verdant Haven. Torch Fiend. Bronze Sable. Meditation Puzzle. Statute of Denial, Krenko's Enforcer, Staff of the Flame Magus, so there's staves in the set again. So moving on to our uncommons, Reclamation Sage, Zathrid's Slyblade, Haunted Plate Mail is back. That was in an earlier course, I believe, or an earlier set. So 4 colourless, artifact equipment, equipped creature gets +4/+4, and then there's also a 0 activation cost on here, which until end of turn, Haunted Plate Mail becomes a 4/4 spirit artifact creature that's no longer an equipment. Activate this ability only if you control no creatures, and it's got equipped for 4 as well. Swamp and a soldier token, so it looks like a redesign there on the tokens. Aeronaut Tinkerer, Crowd's Favour, Sungrace Pegasus, Shadow Cloak Vampire, Hunter's Ambush, Invisibility, Blastfire Bolt, Soul Mender, Mind Sculpt, Torch Fiend, Shrapnel Blast, so our uncommons now, Frenzied Goblin, Quickling. Okay, we have a Jace. So our first mythic, Jace the Living Guild Pack. 2 colourless, 2 blue, 5 loyalty, Planeswalker Jace. So its +1 is look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your graveyard. Its -3 is return another target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and its -8 ultimate is each player shovels his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library. You draw 7 cards. There's an island and something explaining about cards expansion symbols. It's always nice to get a Jace, regardless of what Jace it is, I think. Lava Axe, Divine Favour, Void Snare, Inferno Fist, Carrion Crow, Hunter's Ambush, Covenant of Blood, Hunt the weak. Oops, it's very slippery. Netcaster spider. Rot feaster maggot. Gargle sentinel. So moving on to our uncommons. Restock. Profane memento. Another haunted plainmail. So we already had a look at that card. That's good, we got 2 of those. Forest and sort of advert here. There's more explaining about planeswalkers. Well, it looks cool. Yeah, looks good on camera, or at least from the monitor. Lightning Strike. Kinsbale Skirmisher. Siege Worm. Shadowcloak Vampire. Marked by Honour. Hydra Surge. Generator Servant. Sanctified Charge. Willforged Golem. Chronos Stutter. Shrapnel Glass, so moving on to uncommons. Belligerent Sliver, so there's a few slivers in the set. Not many, I don't think. Illusory Angel. Got a Chasm Skulker, so this is 2 and a blue for a 1/1 creature squid horror. There's a combination. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Chasm Skulker. When Chasm Skulker dies, put an X/1/1 blue squid creature token with Island Walk onto the battlefield, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Chasm Skulker. Swamp. And an advert for Jewels of the Planeswalker. Lightning Strike, Razorfoot Griffin, Welkin Turn, Miner's Bane, Covenant of Blood, Titanic Growth, Carnivorous Moss Beast, Necrobite, Crippling Blight, Netcaster Spider, Seraph of the Masses, so moving on to our uncommons, Brawler's Plate, Circle of Flame, and we have a Goblin Rabble Master, 2 and a red for a 2/2 creature Goblin Warrior. Other Goblin creatures you control attack each turn if able. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 red Goblin creature token with haste onto the battlefield. Whenever Goblin Rabble Master attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking Goblin. Forest, and some information about limited play. So we're seeing a lot of info cards in this particular core set. Clear a Path, Triplicate Spirits, Flesh to Dust, Plummet, Borderland Marauder, Raise the Alarm, Divination, Willforged Golem, Scrapyard Mongrel, Wall of Mulch, Back to Nature, Paragon of Eternal Wild, so we're moving on to the uncommons now. Okay, we have another Planeswalker, we have a Chandra. So 2 colourless, 2 red, 4 loyalty, Planeswalker Chandra. +1 Chandra, Pyromaster, deals 1 damage to target player and 1 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls. That creature can't block this turn. That's his +1. So the 0 is exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. And its -7 ultimate is exile the top 10 cards of your library. Choose an instant or sorcery card exiled this way and copy it 3 times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana costs. A mountain, that's a foil, so we get a foil in this pack as well. There's a foil mountain, a regular mountain, and an insect token. That's pretty good. Second Planeswalker, and obviously second Mythic, and our first foil. Lightning Strike, Kinsbale Skirmishers, Aeronaut Tinkerer, Hunt the Weak, Which is Familiar, Rummaging Goblin, Sanctified Charge, Invisibility, Blast Fire Bolt, Soulmender, Curd Chieftain. So moving on to our commons again. Act on Impulse, Wall of Limbs. Our rare is Spectra Ward, which is 3 and 2 white enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from all colours. This effect doesn't remove auras. Black Swamp and a Beast token. And then moving on to our final pack. Starting off we have Tireless Missionaries, Glacial Crasher, Clear a Path, Naturalize, Child of Night, Borderland Marauder, Oris Kos Swiftclaw, Encrust, Torch Fiend, Ornithopter is in the set. We're moving on to our uncommons. Blood Host, Gravedigger, also in the set. Belligerent Sliver. And our rare is Goblin Kaboomist. So 1 colourless, 1 red for a 1/2 creature Goblin Warrior. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a colourless artifact token named Landmine onto the battlefield with red sacrifices artifact. This artifact deals 2 damage to target attacking creature without flying. Then flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Goblin Kaboomist deals 2 damage to itself. Okay. Island and an information card for Liliana Vess. Okay, so that's all the cards. So I'm pretty pleased with that. We've got 2 Planeswalkers, and I always like the foil lands. I know lands aren't always to everybody's taste, but I have a certain, I don't know what the word is, but I do enjoy land artwork and this business about sort of picking your land artwork to reflect your deck. I think it's an interesting aesthetic. And the obvious thing with this as well, obviously, this is obviously a deck box. So it's not so much a deck box, a card box. So I don't know if we had to look at the artwork properly on here. So our friend Garrick there. And I've got a couple more 2015 products to unbox over the next few days. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.